Two plays that I want you guys to remember as we talk through this video. Sam Williams right here. Look at the snap. Boom. Look at his hands. Look at the punch. That's stuff that you can't coach. That's strength that you can't coach. Once he learns what he's doing, I think it'll be scary hours. Redirects, strings the back out, stuff that you can't coach. Again, little hezzy, boom, get to the quarterback, get tight around the edge, run the circle, get to the quarterback, run the intro. So, as we continue with this camp battle series, something that I came up with, I wanted to continue to kind of shine light on what the Cowboys have going on, what we need to look for in training camp. I'm really excited about this defense. For those of you who've been with me throughout the draft, throughout this kind of series, ever since the San Francisco game, you guys have known that my tune has changed, and quite honestly, I believe that this defense is the best position group on this team. Special teams, offense, defense. Defense is the leader of this team. It just is what it is. I know we got Cooks. I know our receiving core should be much better. I know our offensive line is really good. All that type of stuff. But you bring in a guy like Stephon Gilmore, you look at his safety crew, and now we talk about these defensive ends. And the title of this video is Sam Williams is the secret weapon. Sam Williams is an emerging star. Micah Parsons is Hall of Fame bound. Barring injury, he's Hall of Fame bound. He has certain things that you just can't coach. D. Law has gave you an admirable career. Dante Fowler, Dorrance Armstrong, those guys are crazy. Those guys are so good that we had to kick Chauncey Golston out the room, who's somebody who I really like. But the key and the person who makes it all work, Sam Williams. Now, let's take a deeper look at this position. When you think about this position group and just how deep it is and where they were able to find these pieces, Dallas didn't have to use first-round picks on defensive ends. When you look at Micah Parsons was drafted as a linebacker who Dan Quinn said, just go get the quarterback, but he has the ability to do other things. When you look at Dorrance Armstrong was a 4th or 5th round pick. You guys check it. My memory gets kind of muddy. But he has developed over his time, obviously earned himself a 2-year contract. And he has, the sack totals for him being, what are his sack totals? The sack totals for him being 16 is really, really good from where he come from. Remember him coming out of Kansas. And you're like, who? And he's really developed into a nice player. Then you look at Dante Fowler, who's been an assassin throughout his time throughout the league. What do I mean by that? More of a pass rushing defensive end. I mean, he's had some really good years. He had a 15-sack year. He had an 18-sack year. And I think that what you saw with him was, and we'll talk about these defensive tackles because that room is absolutely loaded as well. What you saw with Fowler was when you had an Aaron Donald in the middle of that defense and he could just go get the edge, he was able to do that. I think, we did draft a guy by the name of Mozzie Smith, who Eagles fans, every time I'm on Twitter and I'm going back and forth with Eagles fans, what do they tell me? Oh, Foots, you said I wouldn't have drafted Mozzie Smith. And you know what? I stand on it. I like Mozzie. I know so much more about him now, but I'm not a Benedict Arnold. I didn't think that. First of all, I didn't think that Dallas would use they haven't used the resources on the defensive tackle, so I'm not going to backbite, but they did. And not only that, they drafted him and they outlined the plan for how they want to use the player. So anyway, when you see that that's gonna be his role and just banging against those centers and those guards and making those guys deal with that type of stress, and then you'll be able to play on the edge with the defensive ends that we have, I think that Dante Fowler can continue to thrive in that role. And then, we talk about D-Law. He's just Mr. Reliable. I mean, he is. I don't think that has been done justice just how good DeMarcus Lawrence is and how good he continues to play the run. And that brings me to Sam Williams. To me, Sam Williams is D-Law's replacement. To me, Sam Williams needs to follow DeMarcus Lawrence everywhere. He needs to follow him to the film room. He needs to follow him home. He needs to ask him what is he doing with his hands, what's his punch like, what's his punch pull like, all those types of different techniques. What did D-Law do to get better? But when I say that Sam Williams, now we're going to transition to Sam Williams. When I say that Sam Williams is the secret weapon, when you watch those clips, it's not like he doesn't have it in his bag. Natural strength, natural quickness. The guy's a four. I think he's a 4.5 or a 4.4 athlete. I don't. His hip flex isn't quite as good as a player like Micah. Micah, again, Hall of Fame level. He just has stuff that you can't coach. But Sam Williams has some of that you can't coach. What we need to see with Sam Williams is when he does get an opportunity, continue to play the run with success. I don't think that people understand and I wrote it down. I don't think that people understand just how important it is to play the run when you're a defensive end. We've seen Micah struggle with that because that's not really his game. It's hard to find those defensive ends that understand that part of the game. Okay? Getting the quarterback is fun. And I think that Dallas has shown in years that like they're gonna get after the quarterback. With this group, I mean, let's be honest. Our safety group and our defensive end group are two top 5 units easily, off name recognition alone, easily in the NFL. Not the NFC, in the NFL, without question. But you still have to be able to stop the run. One of the trends that we're seeing in the NFL is now teams are starting to run the ball again. You need to be able to stop the run. You need to be able to stop the run out of base. I'm a firm believer that you can't start using a bunch of resources to stop the run. Blitzing, tight alignments, 6-5-man pressures, all that type of stuff. It leaves you vulnerable and it leaves other things on the field open. So with that being said, that's where Sam Williams has to turn his bag up. That's where he has to put in his bag. He needs to keep that in his bag. His run fit, his hand usage. But we saw on that clip, and I said keep that clip tucked in the back of your head. We saw on that clip against the Lions, boom, he has the punch. Instant snapback on that. I think that was a tackle. I don't know if that was Sewell. Instant snapback on that punch. He has the physicalness to it, and he still doesn't give up much. Like, he's not just, a big run stuff for Chauncey Golson who doesn't have the choice. And I love Chauncey Golson's game, by the way. I think he's going to be a great 3-tech. But he can still go get to the quarterback, and so he won't have to come off the field when his time comes. Again, I wrote this down. I don't think that this battle will result in any player getting cut because I think that Dallas wants to keep all these defensive ends. So this isn't like, other position groups where I think that, I'll be honest, I think Neville Gallimore could possibly be in trouble. There may be a defensive end, a UDFA on this group, in this room that may not make it, maybe a practice squad guy. I get that part. But when we're talking about the big 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 who play that position, okay, I think they're all good. They're all going to make the team. I really do believe that. I don't see a super amount of drop off from any of those guys. But when it comes to Sam Williams, and him being a secret weapon, I believe that as he gets more playing time, because you never know in season what can happen, injury prone. You never know what can happen with guys having injuries. Maybe they just can't make it through a season. Maybe something happens. You need Sam Williams to continue to step up and be a pro. And again, stop the run. You need run-stopping defensive ends. If Sam Williams can do this, which I think that he can, we're cooking with something special for years to come. Micah Parsons is the headliner, 110%. But Sam Williams is the secret weapon. What do you guys think about this? Is there a player who I'm maybe too high on? Like, is it Dorrance Armstrong coming off the field more, and now D-Law, Sam Williams, and Micah, and maybe some of those 5-man pressures? You guys let me know. Will there be an odd man? I don't think that there will, but there could be. You never know. This is my assessment, but what is your guys' assessment? You guys let me know. It's your boy Foots as always. Thank you guys for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Keep streaming the album. Every time you guys leave me a comment about the album, I want you guys to understand that means the world to me. So thank you guys so much about that, for that. Keep streaming the album. Keep showing love. I got more deep dives on our camp series. We're getting to D tackles next. Then we're going to talk. We already talked receivers. We're going to D tackles next. Then we're going to talk corners. Interesting thoughts about the corners and the D tackle. So you guys give me your thoughts on this video. Comment, like, share, subscribe. It's your boy Foots as always. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Defensive end room is deep, but Sam Williams is the secret sauce. It's not Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is the headline. Teams are going to go into games game planning for Micah Parsons. But do they even know who Sam Williams is? We do. Peace.